Hello everyone, this is Vlad. I'm the founder and CEO of Kubrio. I want to give you a quick tour of Kubrio and what we're building here for your kids. This platform is for age 6 to 13, so keep this in mind. And let me give you, first of all, a quick tour. But I would like to start actually with the philosophy right behind it. So we think at this age, 6 to 13, the best thing we can do is to expose kids to as many things as possible. And not necessarily to, go in depth with them, but the idea, to explore and try to understand there are like so many different skills, that you cannot learn actually in school right now because you have, 10 or 12 options in school, but you have, and here with Kubrio, we mapped, I think right now around like 30 plus different skills, and we are planning to add even more. So you can imagine you have like lots of options for them. So the first principle here is actually to find a way to expose kids to all these things, and as if you look at all the skills here, you have lots of learning activities that you can do. You can and you'll see you have a builder, you can create your own, or you can use the ones created by the community, and if, for example, if you want to recommend this to your child, you can click here, edit, and recommend to whatever child, right? So it's well designed. You have like a big library of things right now you can use, and as I said, you can create your own. This will be actually a really powerful thing because you can create completely personalized learning experiences for your kids. I'll show you in a minute how it works, right? So this is the first principle. The second one, like the second idea here is like we think in the AI world where you can have, like all the answers, using ChatGPT or, Claude or Gemini or everything. So the idea for kids to learn in this era is not to give them even more things like another course or another things. Is actually to give them these mini challenges and using AI to solve these mini challenges, right? So having some sort of like a support program for them to learn these mini challenges, right? So if you look at this, all these learning activities here, they are more like quests in a game. So if you played World of Warcraft, you will be used to this idea, right? So it's like a mini quest. You have a goal, you have objectives, you have a challenge. And then practically the main idea is like for kids to, to solve this challenge, right? So there are like lots of like research done on this area. And the most interesting one is actually the inspiration for this was self-organized learning environments from Sugata Mitra. I recommended to watch the TED Talk where he has like 2 or 3 TED Talks on this topic. It's pretty an interesting idea. And I think today in the world of AI, this is even more important, right? So kind of like instead of, like giving them everything, challenging them a little bit. So we call this like, maybe challenge-based learning, project-based learning. So these mini projects are here to, challenge them. That's the second big objective here. And now let me show you the dashboard as a parent, right? So once you join as a parent, what you can do right now, and actually you can do right now this, right? You have this activity creator where you can create activities for your child. And it actually can be completely personalized learning experiences. Think about if you want to, your kid to learn about nutrition, but you are from, let's say from Mexico, and you want also to, combine a recipe from your grandma and, like to learn something about Mexico and about nutrition and how you can combine this. And you just type here and the AI will create this learning experience for you. And, this will be much more personalized, like the child can connect and understand why they should learn all this because, like it's history, it's family and all these things, right? So I think, like using this like admin mode here, you can create so many different learning experiences, right? And I totally encourage every family to do this. It's actually pretty cool to do it with your child, right? So you think about, like working with your child and create experiences for them. If you know that, for example, they are passionate about, like Spider-Man or or spiders or, other things, you can combine all these things together to help them learn wherever they want to learn, right? And the entire environment is not forced, right? It's actually you as a parent, you create this learning experience and they will be recommended to the child, right? So I'll show you in a minute like how it looks for the child. So this is the student experience, right? So imagine the student experience it's still very, very early, right? It's more like to have an idea about like how this will work. And they can use it right now. It's kind of, like they have to put like a little bit of effort to use the platform the way it is. But they can use it and they can start tracking all these things. but we are building this app, and it will, you'll see, it will be much more impressive than it is today. So these are all the challenges, right? So as you can see here, you have challenges started already by the student, recommended by the parents. They will see them, like if you recommend them different activities here, they can see what is new. They can explore by themselves, right? So it doesn't have to be wherever you prepared for them, because as I said initially, right, the main idea is like to help them explore these different skills, right? So they can explore and discover all the skills, and they can try, oh, what is this game design? I want to try, and then like maybe they can discover some mini projects that they can build together here, right? So they also have this ability to explore things, but they can also see the things recommended by the parents, and then of course they will start working on them. And then we plan to add some weekly challenges, which most probably will be multiplayer. So kind of like everybody will work on this, and we'll help kids connect. You'll see also how this can be developed. So once you join right now, actually let me show you one quest that you can join. So let's say this is recommended by the parent. I can see this and I want to start now, right? Right now, as I said, is not yet implemented, but once you join the quest, you'll be able to see all the other students who are in this quest doing exactly the same quest, right? Of course, the more personalized the quest is, the less likely to find other players. But if you work on the quest, and you'll be able to see, the students will be able to see like how many players are in the quest already, and they can connect. So the idea here is like to connect with other players doing exactly the same quest with them. Maybe the other finish the ones who finish the quest, so they can connect and communicate with them as well, or they can get some inspiration because they will be able to see the work of the previous students, so they can now have a different angle, or think about being more creative or being different, and they will be able to see this. And we think this will create some social interactions, because it's a very good way to connect kids with similar subjects, right, with things that they're interested in. And then once you see who is in, you will have, which is not yet implemented, you'll have the workspace, right? So you will work, you'll join kind of on workspace. It's a space to help you work on that specific quest, right? And you will have this this space where you can talk with an AI. Think about like a ChatGPT or something. It will be able to be even voice, right? So for like students who are not able to read and write, so they can communicate like voice with the AI or something. So how can I solve this quest? Where and the AI will practically have this study mode approach, where is like trying to coach them, not necessarily give them the answers. Like hey, I help you to find your answer to this, and this workspace here will be the way that kids can connect and can get help from the AI. And we think to add all these AIs, which are like different models, and let me show you here. For example, once you add the work, you upload the work. This is, as I said, this is possible right now, but this is very basic. So these AIs will, first of all, will give them feedback during the process, help them kind of, solve that. But then at the end, which I think is actually really, really important, they will receive feedback on their work after that, right? So actually, this AI is we are still talking with some families right now to see maybe this will be changed. It will be actually before submitting the work, before the final touch. So you have these 3 characters that will help with different angles for feedback, right? So we did lots of research on, the science of feedback and how to give great feedback to kids in order to enable this growth mindset, and practically all these characters, which are imagine 3 different people giving 3 different angles of feedback to your child for their work instantly, right? So which is, they don't have to wait for anything. It's like, hey, I finished this, and then you have one AI to give more in-depth kind of feedback. This one, tech, you have Crea, which is more creative, so she will try to kind of expand the horizons, like, hey, you should try horizontal things, maybe other skills or something like that. The feedback right now is very basic, right? So yeah, maybe if you tried right now, the feedback received is kind of, okay, hello, because we just created the connections with AI platforms and everything, but this will be much more in-depth and everything, right? And then you have the Brio, which is more reflective, right? So I ask questions, like, hey, what do you think about that? Think about the process. Think about the stuff that you are doing. And the beauty here is like once the student will submit this work, you will also receive, as a parent, a notification that your child finished the work, and then you will have also hints how to talk with your child, right? Because as parents, you usually tend to say, "Oh, great job," but this is enabling actually a fixed mindset. The child will understand is good or bad. But we'll give you hints like to ask questions about the process, where like maybe some challenges they had during the process, and maybe you can ask how do you solve that challenge like during the thing. So you'll have different type of insights which will help you a lot as a parent to give way better feedback to your kids. And as I said, the purpose is here like to help them enable this growth mindset, right? So of course, when you finish this, this will be stored, and then the kids will create a portfolio of things. They have this gamification things. We try to make it also like fun to, like challenge and, compete, friendly competitions with other kids, like. It's impossible actually to think too much about others, because you will see that every child will have a completely different portfolio, and they will have like completely different interests. So it'll be very hard for them to compare with others. But like on many things, I think it's actually pretty cool to compete with others on like, hey, I finished more quests this week or something like that, right? So we'll introduce this elements of gamification and things like that. And as you'll see here, there will be like a leaderboard with all the students, like who's competing, who's doing other things here. And the students will be able to track, like everything. And this you'll see all the skills they kind of, like explored. And the idea here is like really to have as many as possible, right? Like to develop horizontally and expose your child actually to as many things as possible, because we think if you are exposed to more things than normal, right, you will have a better chance to find something that really intrigues you intellectually, or like trigger your passion or whatever, right? So the whole point here is like to help them discover more about themselves, about what is something that is interesting for them. And as I said, we want to create this community vibe and to help kids connect with other kids actually on the same projects, which we think is actually much more powerful than just putting together a group of kids in a room and let them connect. Because here they talk about something they are building. It's a similar project they're working on, so the connections we think will be much more powerful than normal. And of course we want to let them communicate with each other, and send messages, help each other, start maybe projects together, and so on, right? And there will be like a feed at some point where they can see their friends' work, and they can like each other and stuff like that. And we think this will be a much better way than like consuming social media or something. It's just a way to connect with other kids, see other work, get inspired. Like, hey, these kids are doing some interesting projects. Maybe I will try something, and so on, right? We put a lot of emphasis on safety as well. So this is the last point I want to touch in this demo, because we think AI shouldn't be like you just shouldn't drop ChatGPT or other platforms to kids, at least to 6 to 13. First of all, these platforms are not built for kids. They have no guardrails for this. It's usually this platform they think for kids, maybe 13 plus, or for adults. They are designed for adults, right? So here we think how to monitor, how to make sure that they will only talk about the subject. So this will be one thing, to kind of limit the scope for the type of conversation they can have with the AI. And I think the second big important part here is like to let the families to decide, what kind of things they can talk with the AI, what kind of feedback. If you have some things like some topics that you don't want to discuss, you will have in settings actually as a parent in the dashboard, a place where you can create your own specific guardrails for the AI and everything, right? So we take this very, very seriously. As I said, initially we thought that actually this will be much easier to build, but it's actually a very complex platform, because it involves like parents, kids, AI, and so on. And safety, which is extremely important, right? And this platform will be available on the web, which is available right now, but will also be available on mobile very soon on iPhone, iPad, and hopefully the next step will be Android. And we think. And the idea, like, to create this as mobile platforms as well, is like, because some of the quests or some of these activities that we will design here, where you can design, we plan to have like some sort of like outdoor activities, right? So like it doesn't have to be only inside the house. Maybe, you go outside and the purpose is just to build, like a tiny house for birds outside. And then you just take a photo and upload the work and, the project is done and you get the feedback and so on, right? So we want to expand this and not making just, like a platform, to be just sitting. And we think about like how we can expand and do this also outdoor. This is what we're building for you. Hopefully you like what we're building for our kids here. And if you want join early right now, it's still possible. I think this year will be still possible. Next year we'll probably launch it in public beta. But this one right now is just for early families. And because we know there is a bit of waiting, we have this courses which these courses were created like a long time ago, but we want to give this to you at least because they can be useful for this waiting duration. And we have like 40 amazing courses. We recommend it to take a look and give it a try as well, right? So in a nutshell, that's what we're building. Hopefully we'll see inside. We also have some open days if you want to bring more questions. As a parent, we are looking forward to connect with you and talk with you. We think education is right now ready to be transformed because of AI, and we think we have a pretty interesting approach. We're working on this for 6-7 years, of course, not with AI all this time, but we tried so many different learning experiences. We tried so many different things, and we think what we are designing right now is actually one of the most impressive, innovative approaches out there. And hopefully, your kids and your family will enjoy them. Thank you so much, and looking forward to see you inside. Goodbye.